I've had the Brompton Electric on loan for a couple months now, and as I ride it, I've been thinking about who this bike is really for. So watch this video to find out if it's for you and to find out my review of the bike. The Brompton Electric comes as a 6-speed or 2-speed. I had on loan the 6-speed, but I would recommend going for the 2-speed unless you live somewhere really hilly. The extra gears, they come with a weight penalty of half a kilo and it costs more. So this model that I had on loan was just over £2,700. The other version is just under 26 with the 2-speed. So I'd recommend save the money, save the weight, go with the 2-speed. With the assist, you're not going to need all those gears. So I've used this bike for a lot of different things just to give it a good try. I've used it to get myself to interviews. I've been using it on my commute since I've got a job. I've ridden it for fun. I've ridden it to explore different places. I've taken it to Cardiff and I learned that yes, you can fit two Bromptons inside a smart car. So today, Nathan and I are in Wales. We're riding our bikes on a bike path into Cardiff, just going on some Brompton adventuring, and as you can see, we were able to fit our two Bromptons in our tiny little smart car, so that's pretty cool. So we're taking advantage of the fact that we can throw the Bromptons in the back of the car, go into a city and explore a city without having to deal with driving into the center of it and dealing with parking. The Brompton has 3 levels of assist, and the higher the level of assist you use, the faster you're going to drain the battery. So when I went to Cardiff, I wanted to see how the first level of assist was, which I would recommend using when you start riding this bike, especially if you're not used to riding a Brompton. Bromptons are a little bit twitchy because of the small wheels. So this is a good level of assist to start out on, just to get a feel for the bike and a feel for the electric assist. In Cardiff, I rode 25 kilometers around the bay and around the town, and it's a fairly flat route, but there was a little bit of headwind. At the end of the ride, I had only used up one battery light indicator on the battery indicator levels. So I used up one light, there are 5 lights, and I went 25k. So it just shows you how far you could go on the most economical mode. The second level of assist, which is my preferred level of assist, so it's got some oomph to it, but it's not crazy. So in the second level of assist, to see how far I could get on that, I went out on the Bristol to Bath railway path. It's a fairly flat route. There's a little bit of an incline at the beginning, but other than that, it's fairly flat. So I went there and back, still had some battery, and in the end, 55k was the distance I felt I would regularly be able to get around here out of that battery. The third level, I've used a little bit, and the battery does drain quite quickly, which is fine. It just means you'd have to charge it more often. How far you would get out of the battery will vary, because if you carry more with you, so to Bath I rode with a bag and it weighed about 4 kilos what I had in it, which is generally about what I would take to work, so on a commute. But if you carry more, if you weigh more than me, if you have a hillier ride, if you're battling more headwinds, all those things will drain the battery faster because the assist will kick in more. I can't say how far you will get on the battery range, but that gives you an idea. The battery itself took between 2.5 to 3 hours to fully charge once I had completely drained it. Those of you familiar with the normal Brompton are familiar with how it folds and how convenient that is to be able to fold up into a compact item and then tuck it away on your desk, or store it in your house, or bring it on the train or bus or wherever you're going. So the electric Brompton has all the same benefits of the normal folding Brompton. I want to talk to you guys about the weight of the electric Brompton, and here I have a normal Brompton that Nathan and I share. Technically it's his bike, but we share it. And so I took both bikes and weighed them, and you can also see how much I weigh. So yeah, it was quite surprising actually. So our bike weighs 13.1 kilo when you subtract my weight off the total, and the e-bike weighs 14.8 kilos. So that's pretty minimal considering there's a motor added into that. That doesn't include the battery. When you add the battery into it, it goes up to 17.9 kilos. So the battery is another 3 kilos. But should you wake up one day and remember that you didn't charge your battery that night and you have a dead battery, you can leave the battery at home, ride the Brompton like a normal bike, and barely notice a difference. I've even ridden the Brompton with the battery on it but turned off, and it rides pretty similarly to the normal Brompton. So that's a really great thing to me, because if your battery dies halfway home, it's no big deal. You can just ride it. It's a little bit more work because you don't have the assist, but it's not more work than a normal bike, really, or the normal Brompton bike. So that's sort of the situation with the weight and the extra weight that the electric brings. So not a lot in my mind, but it does make it noticeable. So when I carry this bike, I have about 6 or 7 steps I have to get it up to get to the elevator at work. And so when I'm carrying that bike versus the normal, I do notice the extra weight, and I have the battery with me in one hand. So yes, it's enough to be noticeable, but not enough to make it impossible for me to carry. The other thing worth knowing about this e-bike is the assist maxes out at 15 miles an hour or 25 kilometers an hour. That is the limit in the EU that an e-bike can go right now. Hopefully one day that will change. But for those of you in North America, do be aware of that, because those speeds are higher in North America, but this bike does come with that limit. And I believe even when they ship to North America, you have that limit. So people were asking me in my other video that I did about commuting on the Brompton Electric, why are people passing you? It was for a couple of reasons. One, the assist does stop assisting at 15 miles an hour. It doesn't mean it can't go faster than that, but once you hit that, it will completely cut out on assist, and then it's 100% you pedaling in all your efforts. So kind of defeats the purpose to be putting your foot down and going 30 kilometers an hour on an electric bike. You might as well just leave the battery at home. So that's one reason. But the other reason is I cycle to the conditions. I was on a busy cycling path. I would rather, give myself space between me and the person in front of me. I'm going around pedestrians, so I just think it's the respectful thing to do to not, go mental on the bike path when it's busy. So yeah, those are things worth noting. The main benefit e-bikes give you is it flattens out hills and it battles headwinds for you. So you put a lot less effort into that.
Here you're going to see Nathan following behind me on the electric bike, and he's on the 3-speed Brompton. Nathan has really strong legs from years of playing football and cycling, and normally when we get to the top of a hill, these roles are quite reversed.
Oh my god.
Studies have also shown that you sweat 30% less on e-bikes. So for those of you who don't have shower facilities at work or run around and doing a lot of errands and you don't want to worry about sweating, e-bikes are great, and the Brompton has that benefit as well. You still get exercise riding electric assist bikes though, so don't, think you're not getting benefits in that way. You are still getting the benefits of exercising and moving your body and all those great things, but you will sweat a little bit less and then arrive a bit fresher, or maybe be able to go further. So for those of you who are in the situation where you don't have shower facilities at work, or you do run around town in meetings, or maybe you live in a hot climate, a hilly city, all of those things, or you have a longer distance to travel, and you're not interested in wearing yourself out, if you just want an e-bike, perhaps you might want to look at a normal e-bike versus getting a Brompton. But the Brompton e-bike isn't out of range of what a normal e-bike costs. So there are some e-bikes that cost less than the Brompton Electric, and there are some that cost a lot more. So it's all about your budget and your priorities, whether or not this bike is right for you. For me, it wouldn't make much sense. I'm perfectly happy with a normal Brompton. I don't need the electric assist. My journeys around Bristol are quite short. My commute's only 3.5k, and I cycle for exercise. So for all those reasons, the Brompton Electric doesn't make much sense for me. The thing I would change about the Brompton Electric is the way the pedal assist kicks in and ramps up. So when I'm starting off on a bike, that stop starting is the least efficient thing you can do on a bike, and I want that assist to kick in right from the get-go as soon as I give some pressure on the pedals. And I always felt like on the Brompton Electric there's a little bit of hesitation, or maybe it's just that it kicks in so slowly at the very beginning. I don't feel like it's actually kicking in. I don't know which it is, but I would like to feel the electric assist sooner, and I would like the ramp up to be a bit slower, because I always felt like when it did kick in, it was a sharp kick in. And to the point where if I was on the second or third mode of power assist, I would have my hands on the brakes to scrub the speed, waiting for it to kick in. And any other e-bike I've ever ridden, I've never even thought about it. It's just a smooth ramping up, kicking in, and then slowly, giving me more assist as I get up to speed. So smooth you don't think about it. Where on the Brompton, I was ready with the brakes to scrub speed, so I really think they need to improve that. What really surprised and impressed me about the Brompton Electric is exactly how much it is like the original. So if you have the original and you love it and you just want a little electric assist, or you have somebody in your house who you think could benefit from it or might ride a bike if they had an electric assist bike, then honestly, this bike is so much like the original. It's so much fun for riding around town, and yeah, when I go out, I brought it into my grandmama's with me, and so I don't have to worry about locking my bike outside. I mean, all of those benefits with the Brompton are there with this bike, and it impressed me that they were able to put a motor in the bike and the torque and the sensors and all of that. It was so great. And I also like the touch that the lights are powered by the battery, and there's an auto setting, so I can put the lights on auto, and just like a car, I hop on the bike, I don't think about it, they come on when it gets dark and I need it, otherwise they don't come on unless I put them on. So I like that, just ride and go, don't think about it, don't worry about it, just works. Like I said, I don't think this Brompton is necessarily for me, but the person who I think this is for is somebody who would benefit from a normal Brompton for all the same reasons a normal Brompton is great, you know, security and storage and multimodal opportunities, bringing it with you in your car, so all of those benefits, plus somebody who maybe doesn't have shower facilities at work, lives somewhere hilly, perhaps has a commute that's a tad long and just would like the assist to arrive there a bit more fresh, or somebody who does a lot of running around town and has meetings and again wants to arrive fresh and not worry about sweating, so like me going to my job interview, I took the electric bike, not a normal bike. So for all those reasons, added in with all the other reasons you might be considering a Brompton, you're probably the person that this bike is for. And if you're curious about Bromptons in general, I'll link to my playlist here for you, and you can go see all the other Bromptons I've been riding and testing and all that over the past couple of years, and what I've thought about them. I'll link below to all the technical information for you. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to share with you my experience on the bike. So I hope you enjoy those videos, and any questions, do let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.